Hello everyone and welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. This is going to be the last episode of the planning phase. We've pretty much gotten everything down. However, there are two more sort of things that we need to get out of the way. One, I sort of underestimated the housing as I didn't times the additional jobs that we added in the last episode times 3. And so we're short about, just under 400 workers or so. So we'll add that in, and we're just going to add some, I think, medium residential. I think there's some, 90 workers here. We're going to take 2 of these. We got a fair amount of space right here. And so we'll throw one in here. And another one right behind it. Get our pedestrian paths going here. We'll just throw some pathing sort of in and around. Yeah, something like that. And look at some of the small ones. I think there was one with 40 workers or 45 workers, 48 workers. Yeah, so almost 50. So if we add in 4 of these, that's going to give us almost 400. Just a little bit less. We'll stick one in here. Stick one here. Put another one there. And another one there. We can just go ahead and rename all of these. I'll add them to the charts later in terms of their additional usage. It's really not too important at this point in time. We'll say that's 9. This is 10. And we'll start with this one. This is 11. Uh, 11, 12. $13. And 14. Now, the other item I want to add before we do the utilities is a water loading and unloading for our drinking water system. And so we'll attach we'll do an underground reservoir and get that set up here. And of course, water is a liquid, so it uses gravity. So because the underground reservoir is at a lower position than the water treatment plant, it should just flow into it. We shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Now, the next thing we'll need is the actual loading station, and we'll use this loading station here. Maybe we'll bring it down just a little bit. Gotta have enough room for the water pump. There's the loading station. We'll need a water pump. A small water pump will be fine for this one, as we're not going to require a lot of flow into the station. And we can use a small water pipe for this as well. And then if we go to the underground view, coming out of this, we'll basically bring it around in a 180. And coming off of it, we'll just go down this way a bit. And there we go, into the water tank again. And again, because it's lower than this, it'll just go in. We don't need a pump like we do to bring it back out. So we can just name this to be our... we'll just call it the water station. Oh. And now we can just deal with the pathing. We'll bring this path out this way. And there's no jobs associated with any of these. It's just for the sake of maintenance. Get a nice curve on that one. There we go. Okay. So that's going to be our water loading and unloading station. Now, the next thing we should probably get set up is the southern power infrastructure, as before we have the power plant, we'll actually require power to come from the border here. So we're going to need one more switch, as we haven't set up the southern portion of this yet. We'll stick the switch here, I think. And much like this one that we called we'll call this import switch A, and this one will be import switch B. Yeah, and then coming off the poles here. We'll drag a 120 or 1.2 megawatt line and kind of bring it in line with the other ones in our corridor. And if we get a nice position right there, can bring that into there. Now we just have to worry about the one from the power plant. Now, might have to restructure these ones down here a little. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna cancel this one, and this one. Now we're gonna try to just get as many in here as possible. Now we can't get any under here. What about... Oh. No. Nope. 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 Well, this one still works. Okay. So we can do that one. You know what? I think I'm actually going to bring them around the other way now. That's what we're going to do. So we're actually going to remove all of these. And start bringing them down through this way. This one can go here. Try to get them as close as possible. Let's try this. What if we bring it out here? And this one. I'll actually bring these up like this. Okay. How about this one? Yeah, okay. And then the third one we'll bring around this way. So we'll make this the third one. Yeah, that'll be the third one. This one will connect to there. Yeah, and then this one will come up. And in line with this one. There. Okay. Alright, so now we've got our southern switch as well. And we have all three switches ready to go. We've got the large export switch as well. So we can pretty much start connecting power now. We're going to need substations. And we'll start just distributing substations. And basically we're going to split each line between two substations that will kind of overlap. So the first one we'll do is up here to try to get connectivity right there. And the next one we'll do will be like basically on the other side here. And maybe we'll go down a little bit, like sort of in this area. We'll put one sort of down here. We want this one to sort of branch over and at least touch the prison. This is probably a fine position for it. Yeah, we'll put that one there, and we'll have one more on this side. Although, really, I think this one probably covers it, so we might be good on this side, actually. I think we're okay. So we'll stick with the other side down here then. And so we'll have the other one. Oh, the other thing that we're going to need is pedestrian access to the workers for the prison, so let's add that as well here. Yeah, right like that. I think that's fine. Yeah, so substation, we'll put one of our substations, like, let's say, right here. Somewhere in here. See, I want it on this side. Right there. And then we'll basically have two in this area as well, which will be for the southern switch. Everything is attached here, right? Yeah, okay. Again, even though we have the power plant, before the power plant is built, we're going to still need electricity in this area, and that'll be what the southern one sort of provides. I think right here is probably fine. Actually, we'll do this. Yeah, that one can go there. then we'll have one more. And this one will go, I'll say off here. Yeah, right there. Okay. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay. So now we just need to set up the switches and things that will sort of break these off. So we'll put a three-way switch. We'll put it off here, I think, actually. Okay. So we're going to bring off this one here. And we'll go up all the way to about here. And we'll put a connection there. Oh, whoops, but I actually want that to be a 0.5 wire. Just go a little bit cheaper here, as we are looking to distribute our power. And we'll actually bring this line, not there. Maybe we'll bring it out a little bit first. And bring it down. Because, yeah, we need to get to there. Get to about here, and there we go. Okay, and then now coming off this switch, we're gonna have to get to here and here. So again, we'll use a three-way switch here, and we'll connect it off of here. right around here. So we'll drag a line out this way. Like that. And we'll go down to the 0.5s. We'll bring a line to here. Can't get over here. How about here? No? Okay. I can get to here, okay. So right there. Let's complete this pedestrian path here. Right like that. Oh, yeah. So we'll bring our 0.5s also to this one, like that. And finally, we'll do it for the bottom. So now one of ours is there and the other one is there. Finding a good spot for this one is not going to be super easy. It's like on the ground. And the switch is right here. Actually, you know what? We don't need to put a switch because we've already got a switch and we're not going to redirect this one to the export. So in this case, actually, we should use the 120 and we're just going to connect them directly. That actually makes more sense. So we can connect this one to there. And then this one, we're going to need to get it around this area. see if we can get it under. I don't know. Really wants to connect to there. Can I get it under? Anywhere here? Oh, where was that? Nope. Alright, new plan. We'll try to go around this way. Link up with this corridor here. Where are we going to again? Right here? Okay. Okay, I actually need to come from the other side, it looks like. So we will keep going straight here. There we go. Okay. Okay. That looks really good. Yeah, that looks good. So the next thing we're going to need is sewage, and the place where I'll probably end up sending the sewage is here, though at the moment we're not able to place the sewage outflow, which is, yeah, the sewage discharge, as I need to do some land work and we're paused and I don't have the necessary machinery quite yet. So we're not going to put that, but we're not going to need it right off the bank anyway because we're going to do sewage by truck. So we'll basically place the sewages in the same sort of general area that we did the various substations, and likewise we're going to have them sort of pointing towards where I expect to have the sewage outflow. Yeah, we'll stick one there. And we'll put one probably somewhere over here. I think in this area is a good spot for them. Kind of like right there. Right there. put some... We have 3 up there, and there's a lot less buildings down here that actually need it, so we'll probably just put 2. Put 1 there. It might really be the only one we need down here. Yeah, I think it is. Really is the only one we need. So let's look at the water situation, and it'll probably be very similar. We'll have them in similar positions. And water intake, we have our system down here that we'll be using to start. So again, we'll have the pipe facing down there. And this looks fine. This area. Right. We'll go look at another one here. Sort of in the same area here. And one more. And again, we'll do it in sort of the same area here. Okay. Now, we could set up the water piping, but it's not really necessary yet. We have our station for trucks connected here. So that is pretty much everything. That's gonna cut it for everything we need to start actually building a city of some sort here. I think we've got pretty much everything accounted for. And yeah, now we'll be able to start bringing in our vehicles and planning how we're actually going to construct all of these various things. Oh, there's one more thing. We need a few demolition offices. We don't have any of those yet, I just realized. So we'll stick them here. This is a fine spot. It doesn't really matter where they go. And that would be under construction. And yeah, we need some free demolitions offices, as we probably will need demolitions at some point in the future. And we still get 7 of these. They didn't bump these up to 15, although honestly even 7 is quite a bit. You're going to be demolishing a lot with 7. We'll probably want like 3. 2 for supplies, maybe. We'll probably want 1 over here. I might actually just remove one of our construction offices over here, as I don't think we really need 6 anyway. I think 5 is okay. So yeah, we'll take this one out. And this is now going to be a demolition office. Okay. So I'm pretty satisfied with this for an initial design, I think. Obviously, we'll be adding more stuff than this. You know, this is just the bare minimum, just to start. This is literally the bare minimum. And a horse industry. Bare minimum and a horse industry. But, you know, we do have a lot cramped in here. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks, you know, it's not that messy. It's pretty organized. Everything has pretty good placement. You know, it's strategically placed as best as possible. Don't even really need this bus stop, because we have this bus platform, which, you know, will be able to get people to these other places. But we can leave it. It's, you know. So I assume by the time that I have actually constructed this industry, this will probably be gravel. But at the same time, it doesn't really hurt anything either. And we might have more stuff up here later on. Given that we do have another power input here, we might actually end up doing another power plant up here. So, It might be useful just to keep this, unless we know for sure that it needs to be changed. Oh, parking lots. I should add some parking lots. Yes. Before we forget. Yeah, because I still have 3 more parking lots. Where would be good places for these? One could go here. And where else can we place one? I guess near here would make sense. There's a spot. And I guess, you know, right here, oh, that's pretty close to this one. I think right here. Yeah, so that gives some nice access there too, so I think that's good. We got a parking lot up there, we got a parking lot down there. Now obviously these are really small parking lots, these free ones, they only hold like 4 vehicles, so very few people at the beginning will be able to drive, but, well, or ride, I guess, because they'll have horses, but you know, there will be a few that are able to use them, and then we've got the train system here, which should be able to bring a fair amount of people between the two sides, and we've got lots of pedestrian paths, they'll be able to walk, and yeah, I'm really excited to get started with this one. There's actually 2 things that we really should do first. One of them, I forgot to set up the heat exchanger. So we'll set that up now. And we'll use one of the large heat exchangers here. Like this one. And we can probably just sit it right up here somewhere. Maybe even this way. So that the pipe is the other way. And much like the power plant, the heat plant itself distributes heat to sort of the southern buildings, so that's fine. We only need the one, and then we just need basically a single pipe, and we'll do the underground pipe. As we have a lot of stuff going on here. Now, I don't know if we'll actually be able to make it distance-wise. We might need to put a heat pump station, which might not be a bad idea anyway. Unless they're the same. But we can put the heat pump station somewhere like here. And honestly, yeah, I don't know if we'll actually need it or not, but it's better safe to just get it in there. And it'll also provide us multiple distribution points up here anyway, which is not a bad thing. So we'll put that there. Alright, so now we can bring our heat pipe here. Directly into there. I should have looked at it first. There we go. That's better. So there's our heat pipe for there, and then we can basically take off this one. What infrastructure is in the way? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. So with our weird that it shows on top there, but okay. No problem. Now the other thing we're going to need to do is actually make the connection to our other custom house here, the NATO custom house, as we're going to need stuff from this like right away, namely a bulldozer. We're also going to want to have import-export yard here as well. And so I think what we'll actually start with here, can drag off this one. Want it to be about 450-ish. Yeah, 450. Bring that out to 450. We won't do the import-export yard yet, but basically it'll be the same idea. We'll connect this road to it, and then have some other connection up here. But what is important right now would be the rail. We need the same sort of queue system in front of it. So we'll bring this out like this. I don't know if we'll need this one to go all the way, but we'll do it for now, and if we can shave it down, we will. Now, much like the other one, do I have chain, or what do I put here? Did I do... Oh, these actually should be... Yeah, chain on both sides. Yeah, might do another review of these tracks. I think I want to fix this, actually. I don't really like how that is. Yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah, get our mixed one back. Alright, this should be a chain. These should all be chains because, yeah, you want to make sure this whole way is open for them. I'll actually make these both like this. Oh, yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna wanna set up our signals here. And these will basically be like this. Yeah, about like there. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Right, so what else did I do here? So something like this. Actually, we'll do chain here because going to bring out our fourth track. Okay. I can go to about here. Oops. Alright, and then after here, basically want to bring them all together, so we will actually remove almost all of these. And we'll actually bring this one in. Sort of like that. And like that. And then we'll bring this one sort of alongside it here. Like that. Okay. So let's start bringing the road up. And we'll bring the rail up. So now looking at this, we gotta get all the way to there. Let's go say this long. Bring the rail along with it. Get rid of the extra nodes here, because those are annoying. What? Okay, it doesn't want to get rid of it for now. Probably will after. Okay, let's keep going on the roads here. Oh, now I can get rid of it. Okay. Okay. Let's see how a connection to here looks now. Okay. Now for rail. Oh. So I gotta get in closer. Okay. Alright. Really liking this. So let's just put some signals. Okay. Yeah, we'll put one here. And we're gonna need one here. have one right about here. Yeah. Okay, so now we have connectivity with the NATO border, and we'll be able to actually bring vehicles in from both sides, so that's excellent. So we're pretty much there. We've planned out our town. I'm pretty happy with our original, our sort of initial plan that we've made here. There are a couple changes I would like to make and optimizations before we end up pressing play here. But, for the most part, this is what we're going to have. Now, in terms of the optimizations, like I want to first of all complete our service and import yard down here, as we'll probably want to have that sort of ready to go on a moment's notice if we ever need it, and we won't want to have to build it at the time. And I'm going to want to reorganize our power lines once again, and the purpose this time is really just to try to cut down on the number of power poles. I'm also going to move the switching network, all these different switches we have all over. We're going to move all of them to be right here, so they're all sort of like close, and we can just set up the switching network and then only send power into the city that we require, and not do our export and stuff all over here over the stuff. And it's just going to be to try to keep this whole area a little cleaner, give us a bit more room. And finally, we'll reorganize the horses overnight here, as I would like to bring the train and be able to load them by train. So that's kind of what we're gonna aim to do. And then there's like a few more optimizations I'd like to make too. Like, for instance, we're gonna drag a road here, and we're gonna basically just make it so that vehicles can come off of there and go to all the different highways here. So now vehicles coming off the highway can go into the service center. We've got our road going up there. We've got our sort of like turny roads here. I might actually just delete these for now, and we'll kind of add road optimizations as we come along here, as we do want to be able to sort of leave things for the paving. So actually, on this one, what I'll do is I'll start the double road coming off of here. We'll say right about here. Okay. Now, for road stuff, that's fine. So I guess the easiest thing to do here would probably be to start down here. And so we're going to basically want kind of a similar setup to what we have on near the other border, where we have a rail end station and a coal unloading. So we'll take a look at how to do that here. Oh, we want this one. And this spot's probably fine for our rail end station. And these are things, like, we're probably not going to build this end station for quite a while. So we'll put a bypass track, and it's just to sort of make sure. Oh, I sneezed. You know, because eventually we will have stuff down here. We will build down here. So we will end up having infrastructure and things down here. But I just want to be able to reserve the space right now so that things work out nicely for us. Okay, so now we'll need the coal unloading. Oop, not that one. Yeah, and it'll actually be over here. We'll do like that. We'll once again get our small aggregate storage here. We'll basically set that up like that. Again, we probably won't do the utilities or anything for this. Get our grid here, we'll put a road. Because we might even end up having like another power plant down here. It's hard to say, right? Yeah, so that'll go like that. That'll go like that. I mean, I guess we can place the actual substations and stuff. We just won't connect them yet. I guess it's just the one substation. We don't need water. We would need we'll need an independent water connection, but we'll bring that in later when we actually build it. Because we might have water down here by now, or we might have to bring it in. It's hard to say. Alright, so that would be kind of what this area looks like. We're going to need a bypass track. I don't think there's enough space under there. Nope. The bypass track might actually have to go around. No, we're just going to have to make enough room for it, I think. So let's actually just demolish this. And we'll actually bring the track in first and see if we can't figure out a way to get it to auto connect. with the aggregate. Let's try this side. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's our bypass. Now let's see. If we do the aggregate storage, what do we get? Can we get any to there? No, we might have to do more space here. We'll delete this one. We'll give the track a little bit more space. Kind of like that. Yeah, we'll do these. Actually, before we do that, we'll do the aggregate. See where we can get this in here. If we can. I think we still need more space on the road. See if we put it like here. Does that give us enough space? No. Trains are just too tall, huh? We don't have any tall ones off the... Yeah. Okay, I guess we're going around. Yeah, we're gonna go around. It's just what it is. As the bypass is definitely necessary. We can't not have a bypass, so... Because the end station is not a through station. Which it'll, like, for anything that we're sending down here, we'll basically set the end station as a waypoint. But trains cannot just drive through it on their own unless it's a waypoint. So the whole point of making it the bypass is so that in the event that a train needs to get by that does not have the end station as a waypoint, it has a way to get by. Which it shouldn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it's, you know, it's important. So, yeah, we'll drag another rail off here. And yeah, we can come up onto this one. And bring it in like that. And that one can come like that. Now we can remove these signals. We can come back and set up proper signals later on. And yeah, so we'll bring in our power again, our electric substation. It'll be like this. Alright. I think that's fine. Now, of course, we'll want to put the second rail for the coal unloading. Like that. And it could be like that. We're going to want basically a crossover here, if possible. Here, yeah. Like that. And we can do the same thing over here. Like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. So now we'll just set up our service station, the same sort of thing that we had set up near the other border. Go. $50. So we're going to have a road depot, and this will be our last road depot. Free one, anyway. The way that it's like slightly off the grid is throwing me off here. Oh, it's so weird looking. I think we're at the right angle, though. Okay. We'll do a distribution office. We'll do gas station first. Horse feeder. And, okay, now we can do our distribution office, which will be here. And this is our last distribution office. And finally, a technical office. And this is also our last technical office. So obviously, this is sort of our last, like, free service center. Now, we can always build more service centers based on, like, not free stuff, right? But this is sort of the last free one. And then we've got our road here, which is gonna curve up again into sort of a nice 90-degree angle, which is, again, hard to sort of map here with this. Now we'll just keep going, like another 100. Okay. Do the same sort of setup where we continue into the highway. And then, so coming off, we'll keep going for another, what, 150. Like that. And so coming off here, we'll go out about 150. We could go less, actually. Let's do 90. Yeah, we'll do 90 there. We're going to come out here, 90. Do a turn. Actually, we'll come off up here. Tiny like that. And we'll do a smaller one, like, kind of like this. Small one, kind of like this. And we'll remove that. I'm actually going to turn the grid off. Maybe it'll be easier with the grid off. I don't think it's actually helping in this case. Remove some of this. Like that. That's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. This sort of a nice, neat little area where they can go around like that. And we'll then have it sort of come out this way. And connect out over here. See, so this road is straight. Let's do that. We'll line everything up with the other road. With this one here. Oh, that's gone. Good. We'll wait. There. That's better. So now we can come off and we'll be grid aligned at least, and we can make a nicer looking one. We'll just come off here a little bit. I don't know. Here. Yeah, that's way nicer. Okay. Yeah, so that's our other import-export yard, and we can just, we'll just go in quick and set up our stuff here. We'll start with the aggregates. And again, we get free ones, so it's not a big deal if these never get used or whatever. I just want to be able to have something close to this border in case I need it. That's really the main objective here with this. We'll have one. Two. Three. 4. Now we'll kind of bring them in here too. Now we're not going to do the scrap ones down here, I don't think. So we'll do 9 instead of 11. No, we could do them, I guess. but no, we'll do 9 instead of 11. Okay. And then we just need one more. And we'll go here. Here. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need a ton of space for these. We won't need any footpaths or anything in this area. It's just going to be these, so. We'll do 7 open storages. We'll do them over here. That's 3. We need 4 more. Do one like that. Do one like that. We'll do the open storages on this side, and then I guess we might as well put the scrap ones, because then we can get another 2 aggregates on the other side, so I don't know, it'll just look better. Again, we're not going to be using this space anyway, so might as well. Just to have the extra storage. Like that. And we're not going to bother renaming these yet or anything like that. We're just going to kind of place them here just to have it. Have the preparation. And yeah, I think that's fine. That will be our import-export yard for this. Rail yard. And yeah, I'm okay with that. That's looking fine. So, now that we have that, let's look at what we can do with this. So we're going to do a few changes here. We're going to get rid of this bus stop. We don't need it. We've got the bus platform right here. We're also going to reorganize this stuff. So we'll get rid of the parking lot. We'll get rid of these 2. We're going to come in with the road tool and pretty much delete all the roads. Like this. And we'll come in with the pedestrian path tool and delete all those. Those are fine. These ones need to be getting rid of. Road tool. Yeah. Get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of these. And that. Okay. So we're just going to replace a few things here now. So the first thing we're going to do is the horse pasture. And we're going to kind of connect the horse pasture to here, I think. Oh, I still got road there. Okay. Now, how far up can we go? To about there. So we're going to need our horse pasture to be smaller in here. We'll need to be about here. And we probably actually want to be on this one. So how close can we get in here? Leaving just a tiny bit of space for a pedestrian path if we want to connect those ones right about there. Let's go to our road tool. We're going to bring this down. And we can connect those two like that. We'll bring this here, cross like that, and then we can bring this. Come off this a little bit. Like that. Okay, that looks okay. We can reconnect the pedestrian path. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to want is a vehicle loading station. And we want the big one because it has a rail connection as well. And to get electricity, we're going to have to be right about here. So like that. We can leave that horse pasture. We've got Sado space for vehicle loading. Large, we'll get that out. Or we'll just say vehicle loading. Like that. Let's bring our rail in. Now these will continue going forward. And we can bring that road up a little bit more. Hopefully we have enough room for a rail crossing. We do. And we're going to come straight off of here. And then on this side what we'll do is we'll actually just have a little spin around here. You just spin right around. Kind of coming in like that. We'll go this way, and then we'll put a cross here. Like that. Bringing the rail out this way. Get rid of these. Bring in our crossing. Like that. We should do this one first. that. And like that. Okay. And I don't know if we'll actually go that tall. Let's just remove some of those. See, we'll just remove right up to the... up to there. Yep. And so then finally we just need our carpenter workshop. This will go probably something like this. We got our electricity there. Let's see, can we get one that's good like this? Like, oh, no. Give me a green spot here. Here. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with that. Okay, so now let's see if we can connect that. We can. Very nice. Roadway. Just like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Actually, we'll do this one. We'll kind of bring it to here. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So for our cargo one, we can finalize that construction. And alright, so now the only thing left that I really want to kind of optimize before we start bringing vehicles in is the power lines. I want to set up a different switching network here. So that's what we're going to do next. And so we're going to actually delete this high voltage export. We're going to remove the high voltage import over here, the export over here. We'll leave that. And we're going to remove this one here too. And this one here too. Okay. Now we'll leave this one. I think this one's fine. And basically we're just going to start kind of fixing things coming off of here, because this is a huge mess. And so we're going to just sort of delete. You know, now that we have our kind of plan for the power lines, I want to make it as efficient as possible to build these things. So we're going to kind of delete some of these, delete some of these, delete some of these, and delete some of these. In fact, I don't want any in this area here. We're going to go all the way to there, go all the way to here. We'll bring out the high voltage here. And we're going to remove that road as well. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to bring a road off of this cross the tracks here. And this road isn't actually going to get used very much, so crossing the tracks here off the traffic circle I think is fine. Similar to how this road really won't get used a whole much once this area is kind of operational, because it'll mostly be train. But what we're going to do is actually build our switching network here off of this road. So what we'll do is we'll kind of come in, I think like this, and we'll build a road up this way. Kind of like that. Maybe a little bit further. I'm not sure if we'll have enough space with just that for what I plan here. And just remove a few more of these. Okay, there we go. So this is our working space. So let's reset up our medium voltage switching network first. And the way that we're going to do it this time is we're actually going to sort of build like this switch web, I guess you could say. And this one will actually come in pretty close here. Let's see. So kind of like that. Then we're going to bring a road off of here to about here. Oh, whoops, this is the wrong direction. Yeah, we want this to be an import switch. So this one will be kind of like this. And this is just to try to make it easier to organize our lines and to cut down on the number of actual power poles, because each power pole requires steel, and we want to try to limit how much steel we have to spend on that stuff as much as possible. So coming off that one, we'll have yet another one. And this will basically represent our 3 import lines. Like that. Then we'll swap them around, and we'll also have one over here. So this represents sort of our export line. And we're going to need another one for the export, but actually what we need in between them is a buffer switch. And so we'll actually put the buffer switch right here. Because you can't connect priority switches into each other directly. It causes bugs in the game. So we'll put it like that. And we'll sort of bring that one out like that. So this is our sort of switch web that we're going to have here. And I'll show you why this is superior to the original setup here. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is connect the switches to where they need to go. So this one is going to come out like this. And it's actually going to go like over here. And we'll... This one will go right to there. This is going to go like this. This is going to go like that. Oh, not quite. enough space here. We'll remove some road. We'll get our priority switch back, so we need a little bit more space. Probably something like that. Get our switch to there. And so now this one's going to come over here like this. We really want to maximize on power pole distance here. Now if I come off this one, it works. And then finally this one, same sort of idea. We're going to want to get real close here. We want to maximize distance. As each time that we do this, we get a little bit further on the lines than we would have gotten otherwise, which gives us, you know, ultimately it means that we're building less power poles, which is costing us less steel. So that's our switching network. And so this is basically just going to come off here. Now we're going to do the same thing. We'll kind of stretch it out as far as possible. And this is going to be the export line. Actually, we can kind of start aligning with these now. Oh. Actually, bring this one. I think if we go like this, we can cut it down. Oh, come on. Alright. Well, we're going to have to put 2 in there, so we'll do it nicely. Yeah, like that. Okay, so that's the export line. And I'll come in and rename this stuff on my own just to keep everything up to date. I think you guys sort of get the idea of how we do things and how to keep stuff organized, so I won't bore you guys with that as we sort of head into the actual time of the series, you know. So let's start connecting our other lines here. Oh, whoops. I don't think we did this correctly. Oh, no. Hopefully this doesn't screw things up. Okay, there we go. So that's that. Let's delete this one. And basically all of these up here can get deleted now, so that's going to open up lots of space for us that we're going to need. And it'll just make things neater, you know. Having this big mess just sort of isolated in one area is way better than having it all spread out, and it's going to use way less power lines doing it this way. So we're basically, see, we got to remove all these power poles, which we're sort of like doubling back on each other, right, to connect all the different switches. So by having all the switches in close proximity, we're really going to cut down on that. And this is our actual line that we want to keep. Same thing with the high voltage. We can pretty much just take those all out right now. And we'll redraw them here. And we'll take out the lower power lines here too. These ones are easy to reconnect. Alright, so let's redraw our high voltage. We're basically going to now bring these sort of to about here. Or maybe right about here. Actually get our alignment. Yeah, right there. We'll bring out another one. This one we can bring to like here. And we'll bring out another one. Same sort of setup. We'll set them like this so they can be nice and close. But this one, look, isn't working. So what we're actually going to do is the bottom one so that we can do something similar to that. Cut down on poles. Let's get our continued setup going here. So this one will come to about here. We'll see how far we can go. To about here. Same sort of deal. How far can we go? Till about there. We'll just keep coming along this corridor. And so yeah, fundamentally nothing has actually changed. Oh, you know what? I did forget one thing though. See, we have a direct connection again. And what we actually need there is a buffer switch. So what we'll do is actually remove these two and that. And we'll put our buffer switch. Forgot about this buffer switch. Actually, this one we're gonna put right here. Okay, so we'll put this sort of like this. So we'll go into there. And we'll come off this one, see how far we can go. Kind of like that. We can get further off that. Like that. And then coming off of here, we don't even really need these. So let's actually delete these. We don't need them. Because the additional buffer switch, because we're not going to be able to export like all our power, right? So this should be more than enough to do both. Because the combined power of the two will end up fitting in a 1.2 megawatt line or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll bring this sort of like this. Yeah. Okay, that's way better. Yeah, way, way, way better. Yeah, it just looks so much tidier this way, right? Anyway, so let's keep going on this. And bring it as close as possible. We'll start going down. And start going down. And going down. Yeah, we'll connect like that. Now we can bring in our other ones here. And see, we almost get like a free pole, I would say like maybe 1 out of every 5 or so, right? Or 1 out of every 4 by doing it this way and really stretching it. Makes a big difference. It also looks cleaner. Bring these down in this corridor here. And basically going to be the same idea. We'll just bring it into this one now. Instead. And we'll bring one more. Sort of like this. Yeah, very nice. So yeah, this will be the top line, center line, lower line. Let's start connecting the power plant side here. So all of these are pretty much gonna get whacked. As that's a big mess and we need that space. So like that. And we'll get rid of these. Get rid of these. We'll get rid of these because we're going to redraw all these so that we do better on the distribution of these. Same with this stuff up here. We can remove that road. We can redraw those. And same with these, we'll redraw these. In fact, we might use underground for some of these. Let's see. Because actually, oh, you know what? With underground, we actually get more. So it might make sense to use underground. I mean, we'll be capped at the limit because we'll be bringing in at 1.2, but, you know, we could. And then we get 1.85. Do we have a... What would be the best underground for the 1.2, though? Would be this one, the 1.15. Alright, so let's draw our power plant lines here. We can redraw these too. We'll start with this one. This will be our lower line. And basically we want to get... Yeah, okay. I want to get as close to the power plant as possible here. Actually, maybe we'll just keep going down and come through this area. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, so that one will come there. And this one will basically, oh, we'll wait on that. So this one needs to come like this. Stretch it past the rail depot here. This one's gonna come down here as far as it can go. And I'm okay with that distribution so far. Yeah, I'm actually okay with all of that. I don't think we'll get it in less. So we'll deal with that like that. That. Alright, okay. We'll start bringing down the third line. Bring it to about here. And this one's going to come down as far as possible. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so now we need to start bringing our power lines over this way. Yeah, we'll bring it to about there. This is going to go out this way. Like this. About right there. It's gonna go to about there. Okay, let's bring the third set. Alright, so now where do we want these to come up? Probably up this way, so we'll actually go up this way. Like that. Like that. Oh, actually, we're probably going to have to make a little bit more space there, so this one will go basically as far over this way as possible. And then we're going to go up as high as possible, so about there. This one will come out like this. Yeah, we'll bring it out like this. Oh, we can't go any higher because we'll start doing that, so we'll just do this. And we're going to start bringing it out that way. This one can come up basically like there. And then we'll go across like this. Okay, we'll bring this one out. Oh yeah. Home stretch now. So what we're going to do is bring this as far this way as possible. We'll go here as far as possible, like that. There's one. We'll do the next one now. Like that. And finally, the third one. Yeah, hopefully, I know it's sort of like boring and annoying to have to do this, but I'm sure you can see the advantages in sort of restructuring things now that we have everything laid out, just to ensure that we sort of get maximum efficiency in the build process, right? We went too far. We'll come down this way. This way, so sort of, oh, we can basically go to here. We could just go, maybe we'll go to there, and then we'll delete that and connect like that. Yeah, it looks like a big jumble here, but you know, there is some rhyme and reason to it. Now, one other thing I want to do, actually, I'll just delete these ones because I want to just make sure that our road connectivity will be fine, so that this stuff sort of accounts for any expansion that we may do. So we just want to make sure that that's possible. Yeah. That's road expansion there. What will actually end up happening is another road coming kind of off this way. Probably at least to there. And we can put connectivity here. And we'll just remove these. Actually, you know what? We'll put curves for now. If we need to fix it, we'll fix it, but just to make this not just have dead ends everywhere, because I can't stand when there's dead ends. Ugh. Okay, let's remove a couple of these. Can we get away with just removing the one? Nope. There we go. Alright, so let's just reconnect that, There we go. And same thing down here, except we shouldn't have the issues we had with the other one. There we go, that's very nice. Looks good, I think. So then we just want to have sort of another one coming off of here. That sort of comes in to that one as well. And we can have a sort of a thing like that. Okay. Alright, so that all looks good for the switching network. We're actually going to now finalize the existing power infrastructure. You know what? Maybe we won't keep this switch here either, though. Maybe we'll just get rid of this one, too. And we'll just bring the high voltage switching over to the other area just to make it a little easier, you know. Or maybe we won't even deal with it yet. Actually, we might do high voltage switching down here. That would probably make more sense. So we're not even going to worry about the high voltage yet. We're just going to remove that from our plan entirely at the moment, and we'll build them later when we need them. As we have lots of space here, so it's not like we need to, you know, finagle things. We've pretty much reserved all the space we need for everything now, so it's not a big deal to do things a little later. Yeah, okay, so now that that's gone, we'll finalize this so that any new electrical stuff we do, you know, we can kind of play around with it and not interfere. So we'll open this and, oop. So this will set those all to actually be real things now. So now they're yellow. We can delete this road. Sorry, I just want things to be sort of really, you know, optimized and ready before we turn this on, because I do want to try to, like, get things going pretty quickly. And so the better prepared we are, you know, the better, basically, right? Right, I wanted to bring a road through here as well, as I have a feeling we're gonna need it. So we'll actually remove this. We'll go all the way to there. We'll remove this. So we'll come up probably right about here. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Let's try it again. So I actually want, I think we'll get this to go in kind of, I guess that's okay. And then we kind of go like this, and we go like this. Yeah, Okay. So let's bring our pedestrian paths back here. Bring these back here like that. Kind of add some more curve to them. Bit like that. A little bit like that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Oh, and we wanted a parking lot for this area here. Let's put the parking lot in there. Let's put that back. Yeah, so we had our small parking. We'll have a parking in here. Like that. And actually, we will move this curve. We're going to bring this down. We'll put a crossing here. We're going to bring this out. We're going to basically connect it like that and like that. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, it's about good. Okay. Let's put a cross here. Got our setup here. We got our setup here. We've got our road through here. Got our, so I guess let's connect the second leg of power. These will basically just go through like this. And let's see, where are we going to bring this to? Let's come off here. How far can we go? Till about there. And we want to go to about here, so we'll start bringing them down here. Yeah, we'll come down this way. This. Ah, perfect. We're basically like lined up. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so that's that switch, and then once again we'll just sort of bring in our connections here. This one will be as close as possible as we can make it to this side. That's a good one. Okay, now coming down there. Oh, we already have the connection there. Oh, right, these are supposed to be 6.5s. Oops. Wrong wire type. Same with this. Okay, let's switch to the lower wire. And same with these, we'll switch to the lower wire. You know, and we'll probably have to replace this wire in the future at some point, but I think it just makes sense to use the cheaper one if we can, as we'll be running on this system for a while and boards are better than steel. And we can always change it. Alright, so there we go. There's our smaller lines. Now I did reorganize our data, as I wanted to make it a little bit more clear what we actually have going on. So if I bring that in here, and I'm just gonna go somewhere where the city isn't there so you can see it. But basically this is our data. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit with it as well. Make it as big as possible here. And I've kind of put it into a nice chart. And this is sort of the numbers that we're going to be running off of. So I'll just leave those up for a little bit there. You can kind of take a look. Sorry if there's, you know, background and stuff that's interfering with some of them. I'll try to move around so you can see the different numbers. But yeah, we are definitely going to be like over the initial capacity. But then again, these are like max situation numbers. And obviously I haven't added in this new vehicle storage yet. So let's go ahead and connect the second line here. And actually, if we look, yeah, I didn't bring in substations for down here either, so maybe we'll do that as well, as we are going to want to have a substation down here to run off the lower line. And so we'll actually run this substation right here. And I know we have the power plant here, but before we have the power plant, we're still going to potentially need to provide power to all these things, right? So that's why. We'll put another one here. Like that. And we're also going to put a priority switch down here because this is basically going to act as a bypass. So once we have the power plant, we don't want to use those substations anymore, and so we're going to basically come off of this switch here and bypass to send power further south, basically, or whatever direction that is. So what we'll end up having is that there, and then likewise we'll have sort of the, you know, T switch as well. Kind of like that. We'll bring our 1.2 basically into there, right there. Bring this across. Actually, this will be 0.65. Bring that across. And connect it like that. This one can go across too. How close can we get? We can get up to about there. And we'll see how far we can go. Maybe we do need the high voltage switch here because we don't want to sort of wreck things. I think right here would be perfect for it, actually. So we'll do the pedestrian paths. Get those out of the way. Do our high voltage, because we want to reserve this space. Oh, it would make more sense to be this way, though. Really would. So, I mean, I guess we could put it here. Put it there. That will go like that. And then this will be for the upper, this will be for the lower. So we don't need to do more there. Alright, so now that we have those, we can connect our medium voltage, because we know where they're going to be. Kind of like this. And like that. So that's our medium voltage, and then once we sort of have the power plant operational, we'll bypass and move the power coming off of this. So with that being said, we just need to actually deliver. And we'll bring this out this way. We'll actually come down this way, I think. So basically, we'll come in like this. And start moving down this way. Sort of like this. And then that goes into there. Okay, so that is that one. We just need to do our center one now. So come off this one. Oh, we need to do a buffer switch here too. Okay, hold on. Let's do that. So we're gonna actually have to have another one here. Otherwise, we're gonna have problems. Yeah, okay. That's better. Alright, so let's continue with our 1.2s on the center switch here. Center line. Okay. Less power poles, the better. There we go. So that's that one. Now this prison, I actually want to build the smaller prison, I think. I didn't realize I had built the wrong prison. But we actually have a small prison. And this is, I think, superior for our needs right now. Let's actually get rid of this pedestrian path here. And we'll go back to the prison. Yeah. And this one actually has pedestrian paths, which is nice. So we can actually connect one here. Yeah, we'll do like that. And we can even have this one kind of come out this way if we've connected one over there. Like, for instance, we could have this come across like this, and then have it connect there. That's nice. That is nice. And of course we can put that there for convenience sake. Okay. That's our smaller prison here. Alright, so all we need to do now is connect our lower lines. We'll bring it over like this. This one should be like that, and then this one should be basically like that. That's fine. Okay. Oh, and so one more thing. I know, there's always one more thing, right? But this time, I think it really is the only one more thing, and that's just to sort of give a little bit more space for this rail here. Then I think that we're pretty much good to go on bringing in vehicles, and we'll do that in the next episode, obviously, as I don't want to make it too long, and I want to be able to start off the episode with that when I do it. But so this will be the last planning video. Originally I was going to make this our 1920s start, but there's just you know, I want to make sure that our plan is a good plan. I don't want to have to stop because our plan is incomplete and do some more planning once the game gets started. We want to like just sort of go full steam and start building stuff and not worry too much about that stuff, right? So that's why. Okay. That's a lot nicer. We won't worry about signals and stuff yet, because when we actually do the track construction here, we're going to have to fix up the signals and everything anyway. Okay. So yeah, I think we're good on planning here. Can't think of anything else I wanted to really get in there before we start bringing vehicles in. We've sort of got a pretty good idea what we're going to be doing. And really now it's just about doing things in a good order. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one.